I'm Heather, I'm Skip to Malou's eldest daughter, and I'm here to make brown sugar boba. I've been super obsessed about creating things from scratch lately, so my mom thought it was a good idea to share with y'all my first foray into making boba. You just need 3 ingredients to make boba. Pretty good. You're gonna need some tapioca flour, needed brown sugar, and you can't see it, but it's water. So tapioca flour is pretty much the most important ingredient in this. I've read a lot of recipes and I have not come up with anything that can like substitute for tapioca flour. So even though it's pretty hard to get, I would say this is priority number 1. A lot of recipes will call for dark muscovado sugar, but I think dark brown sugar is also a pretty appropriate substitute just because we just need something that has a little bit of that molasses hint in there. This requirement, this you can substitute. Got it? Cool. With your flame on low, just put the water in and our dark brown sugar. And we just want to mix this up until it's melted and fully incorporated. Okay, so now that we have melted the brown sugar into the water, we're just gonna take a scoopful of our tapioca flour and dissolve that in. Again, we want super low heat, just enough to kind of help these 3 ingredients get incorporated. So I'm going to cook the tapioca flour until it's a little bit thick, until this mixture is a little thick. So now, once I've achieved this, I'm gonna pour in, the rest of my flour and incorporate and take it off the heat. I made a mess already. Looks like it's becoming a dough, which is pretty much what we want. Oops. Cool, it's happening. Okay, so now I took it off the heat and it kind of looks like this blob, but now we're gonna knead it to combine fully. And this is where flour is your friend, so you can get out of these sticky situations and trade it in for a messy one. And knead here. There we go. Okay. It's still pretty warm, but it's just smooth and you can tell that everything's pretty much combined in. So now we are going to roll them into logs and form our pearls. So with a knife, we're gonna have the dough and maybe let's half it. And I'm gonna roll this to a log. Oh, important step. While you're doing this, take some saran wrap just to make sure that your other dough is still hydrated. And now I'm gonna cut them into pearl-like shapes. And it's gonna expand when you boil it, so don't cut them too big. Cool. And now we roll. Pretty crucial that you toss these in tapioca flour right when they're rolled. That. Just make sure that when you cut them and roll them, you're looking for the same shape and size. Before I finish the rest of our dough, I'm gonna start a pot of water to boil so that would be ready to cook our tapioca pearls. Boil. So far, a pretty enjoyable process. Again, if you're a tactile baker or cook, this part is pretty fun. You know what? I'm gonna transfer these to a bigger bowl. Whoopsie daisies. Look at that. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh! Boba down. So now we're ready to boil our boba. I'm gonna dump it in here very carefully. And we are going to stir immediately so that they're not sticking to the bottom of the pot. And we're gonna wait for these pearls to float. I'm going to cover the pot, hot lid, the pot, and boil for 20 minutes. I just realized this is now my chance to tell stories about my mom. So growing up, my mom had a big motto in the kitchen that she always tried to, instill in us, and that's K-Go, clean as you go. And I remember as a kid, I kept thinking that's silly, who has the time to clean? But now as a grown-up, it makes a lot of sense. It's very calming to see a clean station once you're done. So, thanks, Mom. Alright, so when this is done in a minute, we're gonna turn off the heat and keep it there covered and let it rest for another 20 minutes. So we're going to take our brown sugar and place it in a saucepan. And we're going to just let that heat up slowly. This is sugar, so we gotta work pretty carefully. We have to be pretty observant, so this is not the time to multitask. Move it around. And put the boba in. And again, very low heat. And they're caramelizing. Thank the Lord. Take them off of the heat. Oops. Okay, so now we're ready to spoon in our fresh boba into our cups. Typically I would try the boba with some kind of tea, so maybe Thai tea or jasmine, but since it is already 8 p.m. over here, I'm gonna opt out of the caffeine and just have this as, whoops, syrupy boba. So now we're gonna top our boba and ice with our milk beverage of choice. I'm choosing oat milk because Andrew and I love oat milk, but you can use whole milk or almond milk, whichever milk you have in your fridge. Boba straws to slurp up the syrupy goodness. They taste delicious. The pearls are pretty, they have a chew to them, but they're still pretty soft, and they're not that sweet. But overall, this experience was very laborious, very intense, but pretty fun, and it's quite rewarding at the end because this is delicious. Thanks, Mom, for having me be a part of Skip to Malou. I really wish we did this experience together because I'm sure we would have been laughing and dancing around the kitchen. But alas, with our COVID situation, we are far apart. I'm in San Francisco, she's in St. Louis. But I really do think that this is something that a lot of home cooks could try at home. Be resourceful and try something new. So in the wise words of my mom, I'm gonna sign off saying, that's it up.